Hello, hello. Good evening, everyone. Good evening. Welcome to Down Bottom Farms, and welcome to the Summer Sustainability Series, our East Ward conversation on environmental justice. Thank you for coming. We have a great event planned for you this evening. If you haven't already had some of the tasty vegetarian chili, please head over and try some. So tonight we have some great speakers, but most importantly, we're going to hear from you all, the community, on what you think about what can be done to make this a healthier and more sustainable place to live. I see some of you are very excited. You should all be excited about that. My name is Melissa Miles, and I'll be your MC for the evening. And without further ado, I'd like to bring up our first speaker, Alexis Trujillo, who is the farm manager here at Down Bottom Farms, which is with Ironbound Community Corporation. Alexis.
Good afternoon, good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for coming out today and participating in the East Ward series to have a conversation with the Honorable Mayor Ras Baraka, who's here today, in regards to environmental justice and sustainability here in Newark. Right now, you are sitting on 3/4 of an acre right here in Down Bottom. It's called Down Bottom Farm because this is Down Bottom's farm. It is built by the community and for the community. It's a labor of love, and you can see it all here. We're growing 19 different varieties of produce and perennials. Thank you. Thank you. And with support of the city, or continued support of the city, we look forward to someday having access to water and electricity so that we can maximize our growing capacity from the current 4,500 pounds of produce per season to quadrupling that to 20,000 pounds and more per season. That is our goal. We could not do this. A very special thank you to Miss Emily Toronis, who is here in the crowd. It is with her constant support and teaching the youth about urban agriculture, environmental justice, healthy eating, and food justice that this farm is here today. So we couldn't do it without her. And without further ado, I would also like to introduce Ironbound Community Corporation's Executive Director, Joseph Delafave.
Thank you, Alexis. Good evening, everybody. So let me first thank this incredible team here that works at Down Bottom Farms that's put together this green here, this food justice program, this incredible garden in the middle of the East Ferry neighborhood. And this is part of our attempt in this neighborhood to revitalize it, to bring it, make it an even greater neighborhood than it is today, and continue investments of all different types here to make it wonderful. And not only wonderful, but also affordable for the people who live here today so that they can enjoy the improvements of tomorrow, which is always important to us. And thanks to Melissa for emceeing tonight, our wonderful, articulate, and strong environmental justice organizer here. Thank you, Melissa. Just quickly, and I should also thank Natalie from the Office of Sustainability who worked with the team here to really put this together. So, Natalie, thank you. And two just quick words here. One is I think we know the importance of environmental justice, particularly here in the Ironbound, similar to the South Ward. We have enormous environmental challenges as a result of Ironbound's industrial legacy. We can cite some very simple ones. We house the state's largest garbage incinerator, which burns 1 million tons of garbage annually. Right down the block is Ironbound Stadium, The former home for Eastside High School closed due to contamination for the last 30 years. These planes flying overhead not only drop air pollution on the community, they disrupt education at Hawkins Street School on a regular basis. These are just some of the issues that we face on an ongoing basis and are always challenged and want to challenge them. I also want to say a few words quickly about our guest, the mayor. I consider the mayor a friend to the efforts that we are trying to achieve at Ironbound Community Corporation. The mayor has been a strong proponent of affordable housing through new development through the inclusionary zoning ordinance. The mayor has been on our side in trying to minimize new pollution in this community, as exemplified by his opposition to and working with us on the Lemcor project, an attempted recycling business only blocks away from Hyatt Court. And that's exactly what environmental justice is all about, preventing further pollution by the most vulnerable in our community. We can go on, and whether it's the Newark 2020 Job Initiative, in which the mayor is trying to align jobs and employment in Newark and the companies of Newark with the residents of Newark, or many other initiatives, I think we're finding here a legitimate and serious and intentional effort to bring the benefits of Newark and its assets directly to the community and neighborhoods. It's not an easy job. It's not always perfect, and we can have our differences, but on the whole, I think we have a friend here in the mayor, so I want to thank him for all those efforts. So, and I'm sorry for taking so much time, but just one more thing. The mayor was at a press conference at our Early Learning Center a couple of weeks ago, and we were holding a sign. He says, "I really like that. I like one of those." And we said, "Well, you come visit us at Down Bottom Farms, and we'll give you one of those signs." So, Mayor, we have one of those signs here. In this house, we believe Black Lives Matter, women's rights are human rights, no human is illegal, science is real, love is love, and kindness is everything. So we have this here, and take this home with you. It's all there. And as a little extra treat, we have an Ironbound Community Corporation shirt for you. Wear it proudly, we hope, please. Thank you, everybody. Carry on, Melissa.
Thank you so much, Joe and Alexis. Alexis brought up a very great point, and as well, Joe did as well, which is without the youth, this really isn't going to be a sustainable effort. So it's really wonderful to see so many young people and so many families here. And I would like for you all to hear from one of our youth. I'm going to ask Mr. Naheem Carter, who's one of Ironbound Community Corporation's environmental justice leaders, to come up and tell us a little bit about his experience living in an environmental justice community. Naheem?
All right, I'm just start off by saying I'm very nervous. I haven't talked in front of the people in a long time, but yeah, I'm gonna be talking about how I became an EJL, an environmental justice leader. So the way I became an EJL is my sister, she used to come to the trailer and the garden, and she used to garden a lot. So I used to have nothing else to do, so I would follow behind her and go to the garden all the time. And it just started to become fun. I met Miss Emily, I met a bunch of other people, and I started to get involved in the protests and stuff that they did. So yeah, growing up as an EJL is just a lot of things that you see and experience, like the pollution and all the stuff that you never knew about Newark that happens and stuff until you find out, and it's just like, I never knew this. But yeah, the gardening and the protests, I feel like I'm just ranting right now, but all right, so being an EJL is just amazing. Going out and getting involved is just like the best thing possible. Just going to the meetings, seeing people engage and really care about Newark, because you would think nobody cares about Newark, but there's a lot of people who do. and so the main thing EJL stands for, that we all stand for, which is clean air, clean water, healthy food, no more racism, and no more sexism. So, so a lot of things I've been involved with is like the CCRB and NCAP, and a lot of movements to like fix Newark, because there's a lot of problems in Newark with like the police or like businesses and stuff like that and stuff. So yeah, being an EJL is overall just like the best thing that you could ever do. It's like, it's still an amazing experience to be involved and have a family like y'all be involved in Newark and don't ever want to stop fighting to make Newark a better place. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Naheem, for your words. And, I think he said it best, which is that, this is one of the best experiences that a young person can have. So many of us really don't have any idea of what we're living around until we do an environmental justice tour, until we come to the farm or to the gardens or, start becoming engaged in ICC programs. So the younger, the better. Thank you again, Naheem. So now we'd like to hear from Pastor Mowasir Wyrick, and many of you know him from Grace Lutheran Church, but he is also one of Newark's newest environmental commissioners. Pastor.
Buenas noches. Good evening. What else can I say? I think the folks already said wonderful words. And as you know, I'm also a pastor just up the street at the church, and maybe I can add just a word of encouragement for all of you that are working. Quizás yo puedo acrecentar una palabra de fuerza y de poder para ustedes que están trabajando en eso tan importante. Hace muchos años que yo acompaño el barrio en nuestros trabajos. So for many years I have been in this community, walking around. I live right here on Lafayette Street. I pastor just up the street. And along these years, as a community, we have had dreams. Por esos años tuvimos sueños como comunidad. Y que está pasando bien acá es la huerta que tenemos acá. So the garden or the farm that we have right here was part of the envisioning of the community. And also thanks to the efforts of the leaders and the people in the community who put all the efforts together so that we have this beautiful place. Yeah, no es así. Lindo. Este año yo planté flores en la casa. This year I planted flowers in the back of my house on Lafayette Street. And whenever you sow something, whenever you plant something, you think, what I'm going to do, You get kind of afraid. Maybe the soil is not good enough. What's going to happen? But at the end, if you want to have flowers, you just need to go out and plant them and sow them. ¿No es así? Si tú quieres tener flores, hay que plantarlos. And what I found out over the years is that with dreams and work together, a lot of good stuff happens. Mucha cosa linda pasa cuando juntamos las manos y trabajamos en conjunto por una comunidad mejor. Things happen. That's great. So, and also at this moment right now, I think we are at an excellent moment because we come together tonight to share our thoughts and ideas and visions about, the future, a better place in our community, which we already heard, suffered so much from pollution. Lo mejor que queremos para la comunidad, especialmente en nuestro barrio, que sufre tanto en términos de la polución y todo lo que tenemos. Tenemos una avantaje muy grande, que es nuestro alcalde y la directora del Departamento de Sustentabilidad. So we have this great advantage right now that we have a mayor who really cares about these issues in the community and about sustainable communities. And so especially also for our chief director of the Sustainability Office. So we are so thankful for your work and for your leadership. And I'm sure that we as a community are not going to disappoint. Tengo certeza que nosotros como comunidad no vamos a desapontarla, no vamos vamos a mostrar que continuamos el trabajo duro que hacemos. Y eso también, por último, le quiero decir que es algo divino. That's a holy task that we do when we take care of our community, when we take care of the environment, when we take care of each other, when we talk about environmental justice. That is a holy work. Ese es un trabajo santo, porque tenemos ese llamado de cuidar de la naturaleza y de los hermanos y hermanas de nuestro vecino que está alrededor. So may God bless you all. Que Dios nos bendiga en ese trabajo que hacemos juntos. Gracias.
Thank you, Pastor. So Pastor Morrissey actually, in what he was saying, really eloquently demonstrated what we believe about language justice here in the Ironbound and at ICC. So, se fala português, levanta a mão. Alguém? E se habla espanhol, levanta a mano. Parlez-vous français? No? Okay. So there are, so here in the Ironbound we speak English, we speak French, we speak Creole, we speak Spanish, Portuguese, Arabic, but we know that this is largely an English and Spanish and Portuguese speaking community, so we will have translation as we continue throughout the evening. So please speak clearly, speak slowly, and have patience with the folks that are translating, right? Because it sort of sounds like, some talking in the background, but it's part of what we do around language justice here. We want everyone to be able to understand everyone else, okay? Is that all right with you all? Great, glad to hear it. So next up, we're going to hear from Natalie Augusto Filion, who is the Chief Sustainability Officer from Newark. And she's going to talk to us. She's basically going to give us an overview of the Sustainability Action Plan and basically our goals moving forward. So, Natalie?
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for having us here today. And I want to, at the top here, just a huge, really warm welcome to all of you, but also to some of our elected leaders who are among us today and their staff. So Mayor Baraka is going to speak in just a few minutes, and I'm incredibly proud to serve him. We also have representatives here from Louder. Okay. We've also got representatives here from Councilman Amador's office as well as Councilor Eddie Osborne's office. So please, a round of applause to thank them for their representation today. Sigo en español. As the city's chief sustainability officer, Mayor Baraka has asked me to work with representatives from various municipal departments, the Environmental Commission, and members of the Newark community to advance a multi-pronged agenda aimed at making Newark a healthier and greener city. To that end, this series of sustainability events, so for those of you who don't know, this is part of a 5-ward series of events the mayor and I are organizing, is designed to solicit input from you, to really hear from you. Today we're going to spend the next, after the end of the speaking remarks, we're going to spend about an hour really diving deep into some of the content that will be captured in the update to the Sustainability Action Plan. We also want to recognize that we're operating in a new environment. When this plan was written 5 years ago, the world was a different place, and Newark had different, not necessarily priorities, but just things have changed. Not the least of which is in the federal and the state government, and the issues that we're facing now with respect to care for the environment and belief, if you can call it that, about climate change are really things that we need to take to heart. The leadership is at the city level, the leadership is at the community level, and really it's at the scale of ourselves and our homes, making this difference and making our communities safer, healthier, greener. All those things are up to us working together, with the city being a very strong partner in this. These community conversations are providing opportunities for people to provide input on how we can achieve our vision, and we invite you to participate in a really broad range of activities that are taking place with the City of Newark and the Newark Green Team. So the Ironbound Community Corporation is part of a coalition of partners that are working on environmental issues. In 2017, this year, while we're sort of in a transition mode before updating the plan, I've been focused really on issues around quality of life, so stormwater, air quality, litter, a lot of these issues that people are already really focused on, as well as code enforcement issues, certainly, and that's something that really some of the departments in the city have been taking incredible leadership on. Those of you who follow Nextdoor are probably already tracking some of the arrests where people are found dumping and that sort of thing. That's because of the leadership of this mayor, and we really need to give him a round of applause for tackling this really tough issue. Also, the engagement and the leadership of youth in this movement, because really this is the planet that we're leaving them. And you know, I have a 19-month-old, so I think about this a lot. When she's my age, what is she inheriting? And last but not least, transparency, making sure that the work that we commit ourselves to doing, we keep ourselves accountable to completing those things. So I really invite you all to be part of the next iteration of our shared vision for a sustainable Newark, the next vision of what this plan might look like, to be an active participant in the update and to get involved. Ahora en español. En mi papel como directora ejecutiva de sostenibilidad, el alcalde Baraka me ha asignado a que colabore con representantes de varios departamentos gubernamentales en la ciudad de Newark, tanto como en la Comisión para el Medio Ambiente de Newark y todo miembro de la comunidad interesados en avanzar una agenda para mejorar el medio ambiente y la salud de nuestra ciudad. Hemos organizado esta serie de eventos, como estaba diciendo antes, en una serie de 5, uno en cada de los barrios de Newark, para pedir a que nuestros residentes y todos aquellos interesados aporten sus contribuciones acerca de la sostenibilidad urbana, la salud ambiental, el movimiento verde, la expansión de parques y la plantación de árboles en nuestras comunidades, la calidad de vida y los trabajos relacionados con el cuidado del medio ambiente que nos provee una oportunidad económica y mucho más. Buscamos avanzar el plan de acción para la sostenibilidad y tenemos que reconocer que estamos manejando estos programas y estos proyectos en un nuevo clima político, tanto federal como estatal. Ya sabemos lo mucho que estamos peleando en nuestras comunidades, particularmente nosotros migrantes, y tenemos un líder en el alcalde en ese tema. También vemos los cambios relacionados con el calentamiento global, que están afectando las familias viviendo en las condiciones más vulnerables. Aquellos de nosotros que venimos de países del Caribe o del Suramérica, donde vemos esas tormentas tan tremendas, eso está vinculado con el cambio climático y con el calentamiento global. Con todo esto en mente, les pedimos sus aportes en esta actualización del Plan de Acción de Sostenibilidad y que sea parte de estos diálogos comunitarios, que les provea a ustedes una oportunidad para darnos a nosotros sugerencias y para que también sean parte de alcanzar nuestras metas en lo que corresponde a crear una ciudad más saludable. Invitamos a nuestros asociados en los otros departamentos municipales, en el equipo verde de Newark y otros grupos y aliados a que participen en varias actividades que estamos organizando. Y solo quería terminar en decir que en este año del 2017 el alcalde me ha pedido que me he enfocado en unas cuantas prioridades, las siguientes: la calidad de vida, el manejo del residuo de aguas de tormentas, exigir el cumplimiento de nuestras normas en cuanto a y nuestras leyes ambientales. Por ejemplo, no sé el número de personas que sabe de que se han hecho I forgot how to say arrests. Se ha cogido personas presas por tirar basura, gran cantidades de basura. Eso pasó ahora recientemente por el liderazgo del alcalde. Y también por incrementar el liderazgo entre los jóvenes de nuestra comunidad y al final también la transparencia y mantenernos al día y comunicando con toda la comunidad acerca de el trabajo que estamos haciendo juntos. Muchísimas gracias a todos por venir hoy. Les dejo con las palabras del alcalde que viene ahora y como en unos minutos vamos a comenzar una conversación y le invitamos que por favor se queden para poder aportar sus ideas. So, Mayor Baraka, please come on up.
Necesito mucha práctica en mi español. Así, permítanme hablar inglés, por favor. So, hopefully somebody will translate. But I need a lot of practice. I just want to thank Down Bottom Farms first for allowing us the opportunity to be here, and you kept the weather cool for us. So thank you. I was a little nervous that we was going to be out here in the storm. And I want to thank Ironbound Community Corporation for all of their work and everybody that's involved. And the young man was incredibly impressive to me. He reminded me when I had an opportunity to be a young person involved in organizing in the city and causing a lot of trouble around here. You wouldn't know. Some folks remember. So it reminded me of that, and it makes me feel good that people are, grabbing young folks up and getting them involved in what's happening in the city. Interesting enough, we wouldn't even have the right to speak at the council meetings if I didn't fight for it. Now people get up there and talk about me. But that's the irony of the whole thing. But I do want to thank Natalie. She's doing an outstanding job, and I tell her as much as I can. I think she's doing a great job, and she deserves a round of applause. She said earlier that we were organizing the meetings. Correction, she's organizing the meetings. I'm showing up. There's a difference, and I'm glad that we have something to show up to, and that we are updating the Sustainability Action Plan, which I think needs to be updated. And there's some work that we need to do, and I think some things that she pointed out to us is that we need to actually have some things that we can actually accomplish. Some low-hanging fruit that we can make happen and begin to move on from there. And not just talk about it in this kind of theoretical way, but actually make things happen. And that people around me know that I actually, I'm as pragmatic as they probably seen, because I want to see something happen. I don't just want to talk about it ideologically. I've been doing that for 30 years of my life, talking about how things should be. I actually want to make something happen, right? And it might not be as perfect as, I have it in my head, but I believe if we get it to take place, we can push it and push it and push it. And it might not be me as a person who pushed it to the level that it needs to be at. It might be somebody after me, and it might be one of you or some of you in here that make that happen. I just want to be able to at least be able to walk away and say, this is what we've done, and this is what we've accomplished. So that's why I appreciate what's happening here. And as you know, there are a myriad of problems that we have to address in the city. I just left Washington, D.C. a couple of hours ago for a few meetings that I had to be at. The first one I had to speak at an event around housing and health for the National League of Cities. It was very, very, very interesting kind of conference, discussing some of the things that are in our action plan and discussing some of the things that hopefully we'll be discussing this evening about the social determinants that make it difficult for people to have sustainable and healthy neighborhoods, and how HUD and mayors and elected officials can create policy that will make these conditions go away. Obviously, I think there's some larger things that need to happen from the federal government and the state government, but until then, there are things that we have to do locally to try to make our lives just slightly better than it is. And the last thing I'm gonna say, because I wanna hear what people are gonna talk about and answer any questions that folks have, is that one thing I pointed out to folks in there, a young lady got up and talked about how to work with, folks and push the agenda and continuously stay on the agenda so we don't forget it and don't walk away when we achieve one thing and push it. And I said the important thing that we have to learn on our side is that there might be 10 items, right, 1 through 10. And all of your allies may not agree on 10 items. They might agree on 1 through 7, right? But the 3 items you don't agree on should not be a deal breaker, right? They should not be opportunities for us to walk away from the table because we need as many allies as we possibly can, and we struggle with each other around those 3, and we continue to struggle. That's not an excuse not to struggle around the 3 items you don't agree with, but don't walk away from the other 7 items that you think are important. It's important for us to understand that theoretically, but to also carry that out. And my father used to say we have to be as sophisticated as the Congress, right? To disagree and fight like cats and dogs, but at the end, this is the law. And whether we agreed with Trump being the president or not, all of the people in the Congress told us that we had to agree with it, right? We didn't want to, I didn't want to, and we still fighting to change that. But we have to be that sophisticated is what I'm saying. We have to be able to struggle around issues, but at the same time understand that we need allies to get the overall thing accomplished that we need to be accomplished. And I think that we're beginning to understand that here in my office, in the city, and everybody else, that we begin to understand that our allies, we don't live in a society where we're going to agree on every single thing. I don't agree with my mama on every single thing. I don't tell her all the time, but because she might hit me. But but at the end of the day, I think we have to be that sophisticated. And hopefully we can talk about the issues that are in this action plan. And as Natalie tried to push us, get some of this stuff accomplished before we walk out of here. Get some of these things actually done so we can say this is done and that is done. And we are making arrests on illegal dumping. Unfortunately, some internally and some externally. We're making some arrests around illegal dumping. We are beginning to enforce the idling laws in the city. Some people that are getting hit with the idling laws are city employees, unfortunately. But, we are doing what we can to make sure that we deal with kind of 5 decades or more of problems that have existed in this city. And I remember as a young boy organizing with Spark down here, Save the Park at Riverbank. And it's interesting to see how far things have come since then with Nancy, Zach, and the crew over there storming council meetings and so forth and so on. So it's a different time period, and I appreciate the struggle continues, right? A luta continua, right? Thank you.
Thank you. And another round of applause, please, for the Honorable Mayor Ras J. Baraka. Originally, I'm from New York, and one of the things I love the most about Newark is that we can just chill with the mayor on a, summer evening, and yeah, okay. So until now, we've been talking at you. I know it's a whole lot of blah, blah, blah. Now is the chance where all of you get to participate in the conversation. Yeah, give yourselves a round of applause.